Well guys, the time has come. I've officially updated my website. As you can see, it looks a lot more simple, and I've also added some new shirts. As you can see, they're epic. They're also on sale. The Liberal Tears mugs and everything, the original is still on there, and I actually have something very special to show you guys. I have one in real life. So here it is. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's printed extremely high quality, and what I didn't know is that I actually have it on both sides. So if you're right-handed or left-handed, you'll be able to see a Liberal Tears mug from either side. And don't forget, you can also order it without the smiley face if you don't like that. But it's actually the most popular one. It was pretty funny. So here you go. Here it is. Check out the new website. You can read the description if you want. Check it out. Thank you guys. Let's get into the video. See you later.
Jim.
Hi. General Flynn's attorney said that his client has a story to tell. Is the White House concerned that General Flynn has damaging information about the president, his aides, his associates, about what occurred during the campaign with respect to Russia?
Nope.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you to follow up on that is, you were just saying a few moments ago that some of this information that would be helpful to the committee, you were talking with Evelyn Farkas and so forth, that seems to be something that pertains to during the transition. But the president's tweets, time and again, talked about tapping my phones in October just prior to the election. Just found out Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. I want to get something clear about the time frame. Does the White House have any information, is it providing any information to these intelligence committees that would draw these members to the conclusion that there was some kind of surveillance going on before the election as the president originally alleged?
So again, I don't want to specifically get in, but I think if we're splitting hairs about what day of the calendar it was, that's a pretty interesting development. I think that we have now come to a place where I think that we can. I understand that, but if the allegation is, well, it was actually on the 1st of December or the 10th of December versus the 31st of October, I think that we're starting to split some serious hairs here. The idea that, and again, it's interesting that now we're arguing over the date, not the substance. And the substance is, why were people using government resources, violating civil liberties, potentially, looking into people's backgrounds to surveil them, to understand what they were doing and who they were, to unmask them, provide their names and the stuff into sources, spread classified information, make it available to others, spread it to places that they weren't supposed to, use it. But hold on, but let me just, I'm sorry. I think that it is interesting because, again, I get your question, but if what we're really arguing is, did it happen on a Monday or a Tuesday, or did it happen on the 31st versus the 7th or the 8th, I think we've lost focus here. There is, hold on, I'll answer, just let me finish. I understand this.
Now
but
the dates are changing.
No, they're not. I didn't say they were changing, just to be clear. I'm just saying that it is fascinating to me that we are now arguing over the date, not the substance. I understand your point, and if we get down to that, we come out and you really want to get into what date, but I think it is really getting lost in this debate that American citizens who were not government employees at the time, who were not targets of stuff, potentially were surveilled, had their information unmasked, made it available, was politically spread, and all of this, and it should be very concerning to people that an administration or people in an administration, people serving in government who are provided classified information, who are given clearance in the trust of the United States government, misused, mishandled, and potentially did some very, very bad things with classified information. That astonishes me that that is not the subject of this, that all of this is happening in our country, and yet the subject, and again, we talk about what door someone came in, what date it happened. There is a concern that people misused, mishandled, misdirected classified information, leaked it out, spread it out, violated civil liberties, and the potential that that happened should concern every single American.
And to follow up on that, I think we are concerned about the substance just as much as the process. But the details matter, but I just want to make sure that I'm hearing you clearly, because it seems like you're going farther than what we've heard in previous briefings. It sounds like you are, just as the president is, alleging that the Obama administration conducted unlawful surveillance on the Trump campaign and Trump transition team.
What I am saying very clearly is that
you have evidence of that.
No, what I don't. I know that what has been provided to, as I said in the statement, I believe that that what has been provided and will be provided to members of the both committees, I think should further their investigation. I think that the revelations of Evelyn Farkas, who played a senior role in the Obama administration, going on the record to talk about how they politically used classified information, is troubling. I believe that the reports that are coming out day by day, that NBC just reported, that John just detailed, what Fox has reported, day by day, more and more we are seeing that the substance of what we've been talking about continues to move exactly in the direction that the president spoke about in terms of surveillance that occurred. And that should be very troubling. That, frankly, it should be something that everyone looks at and says, what's going on here? Why did it happen? Who did it? And how are we going to get to the bottom of it? That's what.
What's up?
What are you doing here?
I'm protesting Donald Trump.
Okay. Why do you dislike Donald Trump?
He's racist, sexist, homophobic, go down the list. Xenophobic. He's embodying kind of just every horrible aspect of this country's very dark history. I consider myself a very patriotic person, and I think Donald Trump is un-American, and he's anti-American at his core. If you're racist and sexist and against immigration, then you have no idea, you're clueless about what America's like, and I don't have time for that. I don't have patience for that. I'm not cool with it, and I'm saying something about it. So that's my spiel.
Can you give people some specific examples of, people who are on the other side, people who like Trump,
Yeah.
who are like, he's not racist, he's not sexist. Could you give them some examples to prove your point?
Of stuff Trump has said.
So stuff he said, stuff he's done, anything.
The least of it that I could think of is what was the tweet with him with the taco bowl picture saying, I love the Hispanics or something like that, which is an incredibly insensitive thing to say and just completely tone deaf. The things he said about building a border wall, and making Mexico pay for it. His stance on it's not about following the law. His stance on illegal immigration, it's about keeping non-white people out of America, as far as I can tell from the rhetoric that he's using. I honestly don't listen that much to what Donald Trump says, and frankly, I just don't want to hear it half the time. But from what I do hear on the news and online, and from people who do, follow what he says, I'm not cool with it. I'm not happy with it.
Who do you support?
I personally support Bernie Sanders, but I will vote for whoever's the Democratic nominee. I'm not.
So if Hillary gets it, you'll vote for Hillary?
I would rather she didn't. I have my personal. I have my own reasons to dislike Hillary Clinton, but I'll take her over Trump. I'll take I'll take someone we know over someone who's clearly, frankly, evil and who's and he's not a politician. I asked my father, was this what it was like when Ronald Reagan was running for president in 1980, and he said no, because Ronald Reagan was actually a politician. Donald Trump he's a reality star. He's a billionaire who made all of his money either from inheritance or from flipping houses here in Jersey. Atlantic City is screwed partly because of him, and I'm not having what he's about here. So yeah, I'll take Hillary Clinton over that. I'd prefer Bernie Sanders, but this election so far has been kind of a circus. So I'm just hoping that it's not Trump. Yeah.
So if Trump is racist for the rhetoric,
Yeah.
Sexist for his rhetoric,
Yeah.
what about Hillary? What about Hillary covering up for Bill Clinton, abuse of women? What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty egregious on her part. I condemn that. I'm not cool with that. That's pretty blatant. I remember reading something about that, and that's pretty blatant. And I hope that comes back to get her, just on the basis that karma comes around. I don't. As far as Donald Trump goes, there are allegations against Donald Trump from his ex-wife that are analogous, I guess. So that's not cool either. Again, I'm here because not Trump. I'm not really here because of Hillary or Bernie or whatever. But that's.
Do you think that at the DNC close by, are you going to go?
The DNC? I don't know. That depends That depends on my schedule at that time. I might, but that really depends on when it is and what I got going on at that time.
Well, let's say Bernie doesn't get it. You think it's going to get pretty crazy there? Think it's going to be rioting?
I hope not. I seriously doubt it. I think there's a lot of mixed information coming out of Nevada about what went down at their Democratic convention, and that disappoints me a lot. I was at a Bernie Sanders rally in New Brunswick a few weeks back, and Bernie Sanders supporters are not like that. They're not violent people. They're very happy to gather and talk about their opinions and share their opinions. I mean, a lot of people here are Bernie supporters and they're very angry, but that's part of the point of why we're here. I don't think anything like that is going to go down in Philadelphia, and I certainly hope it doesn't.
I was at the protest, the Trump rally protest in California, where we saw, spray painting the signs of the city, beating people up. What would you say to people who they see those videos and they go, well, people say Trump supporters are violent. What about Bernie supporters? They seem pretty violent in those, certain instances.
I mean, a lot of it is like social media today and a lot of mass media today. It's very personalized in a way. You can pick and choose what sources you get your information from. So if you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, you can pick and choose the information that supports him. If you're a Donald Trump supporter, you can pick and choose the information that supports him. Same with Hillary. All I'm going to say is that I don't have a clear idea of what's going on as far as the violence with Bernie Sanders supporters and Trump supporters. The Trump supporters violence I have seen on news. I've seen footage of it, so I believe it's a real thing. The Bernie Sanders supporters violence, I haven't seen any footage from what I've experienced with Bernie Sanders supporters. I haven't seen any of that kind of violence, anything even resembling any kind of hateful rhetoric. There's a lot of anti-Hillary Clinton sentiment, but I don't think any of it is rooted in a hatred of her specifically so much as a political system that doesn't represent people. Like I said before, I'd probably vote for Hillary Clinton if she was the Democratic nominee, but that's because I don't really have another choice. If it's between her and Trump, then I'll take her. But I don't really want to have to pick. I don't want to have that choice to make. I'd like to vote for someone who I want to vote, not the lesser evil.
Hello everyone! Hey, I'm just stopping by to remind you that liberals are insane! Social justice warriors are becoming more violent and triggered than ever before. Anyways, be sure to subscribe to KGP TV on YouTube and have a blessed day. Yeah, man!
Well guys, the time has come. I've officially updated my website. As you can see, it looks a lot more simple, and I've also added some new shirts. As you can see, they're epic. They're also on sale. The Liberal Tears mugs and everything, the original is still on there, and I actually have something very special to show you guys. I have one in real life. So here it is. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's printed extremely high quality, and what I
would be helpful to the committee. You were talking with Evelyn Farkas and so forth. That seems to be something that pertains to during the transition. But the president's tweets, time and again, talked about tapping my phones in October just prior to the election. Just found out Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. I want to get something clear about the time frame. Does the White House have any information, is it providing any information to these intelligence committees that would draw these members to the conclusion that there was some kind of surveillance going on before the election as the president originally alleged?
So again, I don't want to specifically get in, but I think if we're splitting hairs about what day of the calendar it was, that's a pretty...
I didn't know is that I actually have it on both sides. So if you're right-handed or left-handed, you'll be able to see a Liberal Tears mug from either side. And don't forget, you can also order it without the smiley face if you don't like that. But it's actually the most popular one. It was pretty funny. So here you go. Here it is. Check out the new website. You can read the description if you want. Check it out. Thank you guys. Let's get into the video. See you later.
Jim.
Hi. General Flynn's attorney said that his client has a story to tell. Is the White House concerned that General Flynn has damaging information about the president his aides, his associates, about what occurred during the campaign with respect to Russia?
Nope.
The other thing I wanted to ask you to follow up on that is, you were just saying a few moments ago that some of this information that